If I'm protecting my woman emotionally, I'm not engaging in behaviors that will humiliate or hurt her. If I'm protecting her financially, it means I'm giving her my best. Doesn't mean I'm giving her everything, but the best I can do. If I'm a taxi driver, I'm, covering what I can cover. But if I'm somebody who's frugal with her, she will always feel like she's more powerful than you. And whenever she feels like he's not protecting, she feels more powerful, and then she becomes disrespectful. But when she has a man that's protective of her, both her safety, her emotions, and finances, she then allows him to take control. And whenever we feel more powerful than a man, we feel unsafe. And that unsafety makes us disrespect him and then look for other men.
Wow.
It's almost evolved. So therefore, if it can protect us in those ways, we remain feeling safe. So it's essential.
So what's the number one thing that makes women feel unsafe from the man they're with?
I would say that showing a complete disregard for her emotional well-being. And that doesn't have to be sleeping. It doesn't have to go that far to sleeping with other women. It might be as simple as not replying to her messages, or, behaving online, like liking it. I know it sounds so bizarre, but you'll be so surprised at how unsafe a woman can feel simply by watching whose pictures he's liking and commenting and saving. It's such a simple thing from a man. But from a woman's perspective, it almost ignites her fight or flight response. Is that weird to a man? Does it more for insecure women?
I think to a conscious man, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That you're like, okay, would I like her doing this? Maybe you wouldn't, but maybe it wouldn't matter. Like, for me, it doesn't really matter what she does. To be honest,
because you've established that trust.
Yeah, and if we haven't created an agreement on something, then she's gonna do what she wants to do. And then I would just acknowledge and say, hey, I don't really like this. Can we make an agreement on this?
Yeah.
And we'll figure out what that is. And then cool, we've created a new dynamic, right? But I also just feel confident with who I am.
Yeah.
And so if she's off doing something, which she never has, and I don't think she would ever do it, but if she's off doing something, and I would find out it eventually, and I'd say, okay, well, that's unfortunate, but I guess this isn't the right fit, or we need to figure out how to mend this.
Yeah.
Or I'll be okay. If you want to go live this life, that's fine.
So
it's just not going to be with me. You know, it's like, all right, it's sad, it's unfortunate, that's a healthy way to see it, because a lot of people think addiction is a testament to how much you love someone. The fact that you can't let them go must mean you really love them. But actually it means that you haven't established healthy boundaries and you don't have any self-esteem. But there's also probably like certain things that Martha may want to do that I wouldn't do myself. And maybe it's not like the highest value that I would have, or with my time or my energy or whatever, but it's who she is. It's unique to her. So I'm going to accept her for who she is. And I've chosen to accept her. That's why when I got committed to her, right before we committed, I said, listen, is there anything else I need to know about you? Because I felt like I asked her as much as I could in a few months period, right? And I got to meet her family and travel and do all these things you get to experience together that could cause upset or different things come out. So I felt like I got to know at least a good amount in a short period of time. I said to her, as long as this is who you are and who you're going to continue to be, there's nothing that upsets me.
Oh, there's no deal breakers.
Well, I was just like, I'm going to accept who you are. Well, there's some men that are like, okay, you were a model or whatever. You did something and now I don't want you to do that anymore. Yeah. Now that we're together, you can't do this thing anymore.
Yeah.
Like Martha's an actress. So she's done, 40 different movies. She's kissed men in movies. She's done the different intimate scenes. I know that. And therefore, I had to ask myself, do I accept this if she continues being who she is?
Yeah, exactly.
And I had to say, okay, I'm okay with that. As opposed to, you can't do this anymore. You have to change to fit into my world.
But that's the difference between insecure and boundaries. Because here's the thing, a lot of men, they'll say, no, I'm not being insecure, I'm just setting boundaries. But you are being insecure, because here's the difference between insecure and boundaries. It's a secure man will see what you have to offer, like read the menu and decide if he will stay or leave.
Exactly.
An insecure man will say, you need to do this, you need to do this, rather than just saying, you are who you are, I'm going to have to leave.
You're not right for me.
You're not right for me.
Why do we try to change people from who they are to fit our world?
Because we're too insecure to walk away.
Wow.
Yeah, when we develop the willingness to walk away, we actually love people for who they are. You know what, you're always out in the club all day, every day, and you actually like that you're really lively and extrovert, but it doesn't work for me. But when I'm insecure, it's like, please be something else, because I can't walk away from this. I can't find anybody else. So I'm always holding them by the throat, begging them to be a better person, because I don't have the strength to know when to walk away.
Wow.
So that's when we force
I've been
people.
both of